majority of Gen Z have an unfavorable impression of Israel. And my friends, I think the reason for that is that we're losing the digital war. Okay, they're getting their information from TikTok and whatever it is, and we're losing that war. When you think about it, the masters of the universe are Jews. You know, we've got Altman and AI, we got Zuckerberg, we got Sergey Brin, we got the group across the board, Jan Combs, founded WhatsApp. It's us. And we have to figure out a way to win the digital battle. Amelia, we got to get our digital sneakers on so that the truth can prevail over the lies. And when we do that, the future of Israel will be stronger because a majority of all Americans will support Israel. We'll make that happen. We have to make it happen. Thank you. Baruch Hashem. Thank you. The majority of Gen Z have an unfavorable impression of Israel.
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, or Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta. And you see here Amalek on the screen complaining about losing the favorable public opinion that they once had, and how it's fading away, especially with Gen Z, and that they have to basically clean up the internet because it is exposing them far too much, way more than they like, and they're basically losing this information war, and they are losing a favorable public opinion, and they're complaining about it. And so we're going to touch on that, but we're also going to touch on the comment that the guy made, saying that them as Jays, that they are the masters of the universe, in which nothing could be further from the truth. They are for this time being, but they're at the very end of them having power, because they aren't Israel. They're not true Israel. So they don't have an everlasting kingdom. They have a temporary time of being in power. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. They have the power of the earth right now, but it is coming to a close. And they could thank their forefather Esau for that, because these people are truly Edomites. And these Jays, these small hatters, they come from the tribe of Amalek, which is a segment of Edomites, in which they would be at the top of the order in the end times, in which they are. But you can see they're being exposed, and they don't like it. And so we should expect some extensive measures to come about very soon, in which you're already seeing these power outages over there in Europe and France, Spain, and Portugal. And Apostle Tahar was saying that could possibly happen over here and soon. And so that might be an opportunity for them to wipe the internet, so that they could have a better public opinion than they have. So basically only have their own propaganda put out there, and they want to take the truth away. So this could be foreshadowing the famine of the word, in which the Lord cuts off his truth, and then judgment is going to come right after. This guy called his people the masters of the universe, and they are what the scriptures refer to as the basest of men, and they are being exposed for that, and that's why they want to clean up the internet. This is Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. Esau's not just speaking to one man, it's speaking to the man and his complete and entire progeny. Esau is the progenitor of the so-called white race, as well as those small hatters, because they are just white people pretending to be the Lord's people. But Esau, they come from Esau. And Esau isn't called white in the scriptures, he is called red. And he is hated of the Lord. And the Lord hates all of his people. These are the people that the Lord will have indignation against forever. And it's how they operate. They were created to be the wicked. They go around the earth claiming to be the Lord's people, but don't even use his book. They go through the Talmud and they say the laws are done away with and break all of the Lord's laws and steal and pretty much put the world into more wickedness. They're the ones that control the corn industry and media and entertainment, to where they put out all these wicked vibrations through the music and through the movies and through these flicks that they put out for free. They have lowered the Earth's vibration to where it can't even be cleaned up except for nuclear fire and through destruction that is coming. And so you can only imagine they have a mighty price to pay. But it says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. Their biggest secret place was hiding the fact that they are Edomites. That's an extreme secret, that they're not the Lord's people, that they're hated of the Lord, but they're in power for this short amount of time. That is being uncovered. And all of their various atrocities and wrongdoings throughout history, these things are being uncovered. Esau is being exposed and he is being shamed. And it says, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Because you go back to Cain with the mark of Cain, which was having the melanin removed from his skin. These people are not going to be able to hide in the kingdom. It's going to be obvious that they are Edomites. And even now, it's becoming more and more obvious that they are Edomites, that they're not the Lord's chosen people. And they're not going to be able to just go and hide amongst the people, because they have the mark of Cain. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. And going back to that mark, that's very serious. And at the same time they're being exposed, we do have brothers and sisters that look like the Edomites, because the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And whoever goes back through their father's line to the seed of Jacob, they actually are Israelites. And so we do have Israelites that resemble Edomites, but they're truly Israelites. And the Spirit can tell. You could tell who's an Edomite and who might be iffy. Not saying completely that you could completely tell, but that is something I wanted to touch on. But yeah, they're being exposed, and they're going to eventually try to cut off the internet so that they can clean it up. But let's go into what he was talking about, being the masters of the universe. This is Daniel 4 and verse 7. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. The Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, controls everything that goes on in the world. There is no such thing as free will. And giveth it to whomsoever he will. They didn't take it from being so advanced and so supreme over the other nations. The Lord put them in this position. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and setteth up over it the basest of men. And that is where we are. We have the absolute lowest form of humanity leading and ruling and influencing the world. And so that's why we have such pollution and such disease and such wickedness within this earth is because the wicked are bearing rule. They are in rule and power. And the Lord put them there. They're not the masters of the universe. They're really closer to the scum of the universe. And we know that that's you because you've taken over the land and you're claiming to be the people, but none of the prophecies have been met for you to be in the land. For instance, when the Israelites return to Israel, there's not going to be any more war. And when they return, the Israelites return, they're also going to go back with a lot of slaves. And you have not done any of these things, which shows that you are the wicked, who's just in favor for this one period of time. This is Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be showed to the wicked. The wicked are the Edomites. You could go to Malachi 1:4. They're the border of wickedness. And that man on the screen, the Amalekite, he is the wicked, or he is one of the nation of the wicked. And they're in a position where favor is being showed to them. They're in high position within the earth. They run the banking industry and have all sorts of riches. They claim to have the highest IQs. But that's just for this amount of time. The Lord has lifted them up. And the Lord can do that. You can look at Nebuchadnezzar and how he was changed into a beast. So the Lord can shift the positioning of your nation up and down. He can kind of turn up the volume on you or turn it down. And once you're in the kingdom, you're going to be turned down. I hope a lot of you retain your intelligence and your wherewithal, though, so that you could see the low position that your people have been put into and actually feel it and suffer mentally over your low position. But currently, you're in this favorite position. It says, yet will he not learn righteousness, because they are the wicked. They have the book. They've been claiming to be the Lord's people. And then the other segment of the Edomites are claiming to be Christians or whatever. But they can't do right. They have to switch up the scripts, or say certain parts don't exist, or that it's been turned over. They can't just follow it by the book. They have to do it crookedly, because they are the wicked. They can't learn righteousness. It says, in the land of uprightness, the land of uprightness is Israel, will he deal unjustly. And you can see how they're treating those Palestinians currently. They're unjust and bloody people. And it says, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. It's Numbers 24 and verse 20. It says, and this is Balaam prophesying to Balak. The Lord gave him a vision. Balaam is a heathen that the Lord gave a vision to of the end times. And he's telling Balak about the destruction that will come. And so this is to the small hatters here at verse 20. And he says, and when he looked on Amalek, you're not the Lord's people, you are Amalek. You're not the Lord's people, you are Amalek. You're not the Lord's people, you are Amalek. He took up his parable. So he's taking up this parable to the people that we currently call the Jays, the small hatters, the 1948ers, the people that claim to be the Lord's people. They're not, because the Lord wouldn't do this to his people. And it says, and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. And this has gone to their heads, because that guy thinks that they are the masters of the universe now. And I'm sure a lot of them believe that. But here's what's coming. You're the first of the nations currently. So you're running the banking industry and the entertainment and the media. You control all the newspapers and the public thought. You are the heads in these different corporations. You're all in the government and high up positions. You are currently the first of the nations. And Americans are seeing that you have a very tight grip over America. You're the first of the nations. It says, but his latter end, so at the end of you, shall be that he perish forever, because the Lord is going to completely cut your people off after you serve your 1,000 years of slavery for everything you've done on this side. Your people are going to be cut off. You're going to be G-sided. You know that word that somebody else tried to do to you. That's actually going to happen, and it's sanctioned by the Lord. This is at the end of the 1,000-year reign. You get Obadiah 1 and 18. And there won't be any of your genome left here on the earth. You're all going to be cut off. And it's for the betterment of the earth, because you're that scum. You are the basest of men. And just removing you will lift up humanity by a ton. You know how they say you're only as strong as your weakest member or your weakest link? You're that weak link that has to be removed from the earth. And then the earth can truly flourish, because you won't be around plotting and planning and scheming to do harm, to do evil. That's what you are. You're just a wicked, lying, bloody people. And your judgment is coming. That's why you're trying to cover up what is going on the internet. You're trying to cover up the truth about who you are and what your people are doing. And so they're trying to cut off the internet. I've got another clip. This is from old Candace Owens. And so let's check this out.
Probably pay attention the next time the World Economic Forum makes a prediction and calls it inevitable. And lo and behold, they are predicting that a coronavirus pandemic, a cyber pandemic, is going to happen, and that it is once again inevitable. So, if you look into the exercise that they have run this year, I believe they run it in July. They've been meeting and talking about the cyber pandemic, what it would look like. Essentially, their idea is that they're going to have to sanitize the internet because a bug, think of this as like a coronavirus for your computer, is going to sweep globally, and the only way they're going to be able to stop this bug from infecting everything is to effectively shut down the internet, right? And they were talking about bringing down the power grid in an effort to do this. So imagine the government bringing down the power grid, and you would not have access to anything that required an electrical charge.
So, you see, this is more and more talk. Those two videos link because they want to sanitize the internet. And as the other guy, or as Candace Owens was saying, sanitize the internet, and the other guy was saying, wipe it clean. There's something coming very soon. And I think this is all leading into, it's called the famine of the word. And this is leading into Jacob's trouble, and it's leading into the fourth industrial revolution, where they're going to try to get rid of this current system that society's ran through and go to a digital system, and that will involve the MOTB, in which they're going to try to make it mandatory for you to place a digital micro C-hip into your hand or into your head so that you could participate in society. This is all on the horizon, and it's seeming like it's coming very soon. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So he's going to cut off his word. That means he's going to, in modern terms, that means he's going to take his men off the highways and byways that are giving the absolute truth, his truth, as said through the scriptures. He's going to take that away. And he's going to take it away via the internet, because that's where the majority of this information is, on the internet. That's where we put our lessons, all on YouTube and these different places on the internet. They want to sanitize it. And it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh, and shall not find it. These people are going to be looking for answers once all this stuff starts going down. And it's already starting. You're already saying in a couple weeks there won't be food on the shelves, and there's ships are not coming into port. We're seeing these people talking about wiping the internet. They're going to have, regular people are going to have so many questions, and they're not going to be answered, and they're going to be in complete and total confusion, and they're going to be perfect for the Lord to destroy, because this is the time to get the answers while the internet is open and free and the truth is still on it. So go to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone. They have the 100% truth scripturally, and are delving it out, teaching and giving the answers. And you're going to need these answers to make it through the time of trouble that is coming, and through Jacob's trouble. We're going to need this wisdom and understanding to be our stability, the stability of our times, and the strength of our salvation. Your mind has to be girded up for what is coming. And a lot of people don't even realize that anything is coming. And so, Esau and Amalek are not the masters of the universe. That's for Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and for the Israelites. He said that we are gods, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as are scattered. And Edom is about to have our boot cast over him, because they are the scum of the universe. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.